her.
All right, so Lana and Mary are going to show us how to do an apothecary pedicure. Lana, explain to me what setup you're looking at here.
Okay, so we have our basic towel that's going to go over your lap like so. My second towel will go here for protection. Use this towel for yourself and save this one for the client.
Okay.
And all the setup you've learned. So we'll start with her left foot.
This
and
is the mask for the legs and the scrub that the client will
made.
yes,
make
so
up
they take
themselves.
their little thing.
Right. The client will do that themselves. Yeah, just another second on the water, and then you can turn those jets on.
Another second.
Another second. Okay, it's above the. You go ahead.
And there goes the jets. So we'll start with our left foot here. Place it here. Do a little pat dry. And we're gonna remove the polish if they have any. And we're gonna shape her nails.
And now all that stuff that's in your drawer, right?
Yes, so you're gonna have your clippers, your foot file, your polish remover, and a little cute towel right here, and then and all your implements right here.
Yep.
And then just kind of keep it clean if you can. And then you're gonna file, remove polish, file her nails, and then we're going to use her cuticle eliminator like so. Never touch the tip to her nail.
Okay.
Rub it in a little bit. Let it sit. And then you're going to take our callus remover, put a little bit on your hand in a little stripe motion, put it
You always,
underneath your
with
foot.
the callus remover though, you always want to make sure they're not diabetic.
Not diabetic.
If anyone that's diabetic cannot use callus remover.
No
So we
callus
need to
remover if
check
they're
on
diabetic.
Are you
allergies.
recording?
I am.
Yes, I have a question.
And
What's your question, Brooke?
Not related to this. No, here. So Lauren Fogue, do you remember that email about her having issues with identification pause?
Yeah.
She wants to talk to you.
Okay.
She doesn't want to sign up. So do you want?
Transfer her back, have her leave a message, and I'll call her back.
Okay, thanks.
And just be careful of the callus remover that is just on the bottom of her feet. And then wipe your hands off with the glove so that it's not spreading around her whole foot. And then use your personal towel, pat dry. And then we're going to give our handy dandy cuticle pusher backers. We'll push back her cuticles. Does everything feel alright? Mrs. Cripe, is everything feel okay? Push back, push back. She'll say yes or no. And then put that down. We'll take our little yellow block. Do a good little buffing. Be careful with the yellow buffers as they can cut her skin. So buff, 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 buff. And then after we use our buffer, we'll take our nippers and only nip what's dead. So nip, 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 nip. Again, you can say, does everything feel okay? Let me know if anything's uncomfortable. Nip, 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 nip. And after that, we are going to lift her foot up a little bit, take her personal towel, pat off some of the excess callus remover so it doesn't build up on our foot file right here. Little foot file, and depending on which foot file you want to use, just be careful that you're not taking the edge and scraping
Cutting
your foot
it,
as
yeah.
that can cut her. You know, make sure everything feels okay. And then we're going to take our custom scrub that she built herself, put a little bit of water on her leg because it can be a little abrasive.
The first, what you want to do though before then, is you want to re-soak that foot.
So,
Okay, and because you've got the callus, you've got all of those eliminators on there, so you want that off before you proceed on because of the acids and things in there.
So it doesn't continue.
Exactly. So you want to soak the foot and then and then bring it back up to do their scrub.
Okay.
I learned something just now.
Absolutely.
See there? And
That's why we do this.
That's why we do the video, because you don't want that left on the skin.
Well, yeah, because it will continue to
It'll
work
continue
as long
to
as it's
work.
on the skin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you just take that, rinse it off, because that way too, then the leg is wet,
Right.
because it's easier for the movement of the scrub and everything else if the leg and foot is wet.
Exactly. And then, of course, after you use her scrub, just ask if the granules hurt too much. If they do, just grab a little bit more water. And then you're going to rub it in, focus on the cuticles to exfoliate some of those excess cuticle that you might not have been able to nip off. And get a good scrub on the bottom of the feet as well. And then place her foot back in the water. Get the scrub off. Then we're gonna ask for a second foot and do everything we just did to that first foot onto this foot. And so again, we'll put her back in and rinse off the callus junk. We'll take it back out. little pat dry, and then do our
So
scrub.
do you pat dry the foot and then add the scrub, or do you let the foot stay wet?
Generally let it stay wet, personal preference. So if, you know, it's an older client's skin tends to be thinner just due to age. If she's younger, then it's not gonna hurt. It's gonna, in my opinion, feel better. Kind of like someone scratching you. But as we get older and our skin thins out, then our skin is a little bit more thinner, and this can just hurt or be too abrasive. So at that point, just read your client, as well as ask them, does everything feel okay? It's very important throughout the entire pedicure process. How does this feel? Do you feel
Right.
okay? Let me know if anything's uncomfortable. Just due to the fact that clients, for whatever reason, don't feel like they can tell you when things hurt.
Right.
So just be sure to reinsure the fact that, please let me know, I can't feel what you're feeling. And then you'll rinse all of that off. And I always flip the towel over because you can see it's pretty dirty right there. Now we have a nice clean towel. And I'll ask for both her feet. And at this point, I will pat dry. And depending on how wet her legs are, you can we'll have 2 towels here. We're just low on towels right now. So we're gonna pat dry because I'm gonna be putting a ginger mask on. And I want her legs to be pat dried for the ginger mask application. And for this particular tub, you will have to reach in.
This one actually works.
Oh, this one does?
This one works.
It does.
Well, all the other ones you'll have to lift up and drain it
pull the
yourself,
plug
and
out.
then your hands will be
Most
wet.
of the time.
Works most of the time. So again, just remember you're using your own personal towel. You don't want to use the client towels. And then once that's fully drained, turn this little nozzle thing so it faces towards spray version. This is not spray version. Spray version. And then just do a quick little rinse while the client is patiently sitting right there. Plug her back up in there, and then fill with hot water. And take her back to this version, and then it'll come out the jets. And then in this drawer is where you're gonna find your pedi flops, your toe separators, and your staining tab. Your staining tab will be opened up like so and placed like so. And that is going to ensure that once this water is full, we're gonna start the jets and it's gonna cycle through cleaner so that our jets are nice and clean for our next client. And it's best to try and do it at this point in time so that if you have a client right after, your jet's all nice and clean, it's been cycled, it just drains, needs to be sprayed and cleaned out. So that you don't have to do this process after your client and then you'll fall behind. And then once it starts filling, you're just say, hey, okay, this ginger mask is going to be a little bit cool. You're used to hot water, so it's going to be a little chilled. And you don't want to necessarily rub it in as you're just kind of patting it on because it's a mask. So you just want it to be nice and masked and everything feel okay. Sorry, it's a little chilly. Put it on your other foot.
So does this go on the foot as well, or just the
Well,
leg?
you can do that, but her feet are gonna have something called EcoFin, and that is a portable version of paraffin treatments. And so that's what's gonna be on her feet.
Okay.
So you can, if you want to.
Sure.
And then of course, you'd be wearing gloves right now as well. So use your personal towel and say, excuse yourself. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup and I'm gonna grab your hot towels and your EcoFin. And so just make sure your station's clean. At this point, you can grab her mask and her scrub because you're not gonna need it again. So just make sure you're always on top of things and always clean. So you'll put it over by the sink. For now is fine. Just make sure you're keeping an eye on the water so it doesn't overflow if it's on. And then you're going to grab this little towel. And you're going to grab your hot towels. And they are hot, so that's why we have this little towel so you don't have to grab them all and burn your hands. And now it makes a nice little basket. And then you're going to find your EcoFin where you put it. And for me, I put it here. You're gonna grab your little EcoFin. All right, and we're gonna go back then I just put my hot towels right in here on top of all your stuff. And as you can see, your EcoFin are just little cubes of wax. Now they're all oil, excuse me, paraffin.
Yeah, cubes of oil that have been melted.
Melted, exactly. So just shake it around. And then we're going to put it on her feet. Just lift up for me, please. And then we can turn off the swatter now. And you don't need to wrap up this bag all the way, just enough so that her ankle's good. Just take the wax and kind of push it in, do a little bit of compressions. And then we're going
Lana,
to
who taught you how to do the apothecary?
Sharon. I know, because when I was going with Michelle, she does it one way, Sharon does it another way, and then I'm
Okay.
sure you do it.
No, well, the thing is here, the oil is what's used to massage with.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to massage with that oil now?
So
Then
what
all of
she
this is
does,
here.
so what she does is wrap. So I'll just go through it with the way Sharon taught
Yeah.
me, and then you can tell me.
Yeah, because it's, there's no way now to massage with the oil because you've got the oil mixed with the mask.
So you would want to keep the mask off the foot.
No. The way we did the apothecary from the beginning is you put the mask on and then
shake
you
the
wrap
towel so it's not hot.
Yeah, you wrap the towels around the masked foot.
Right.
And then you just drape a towel across the feet so they stay warm.
I think she wants you to lift up your foot.
But you don't do it at the same time. So you take the mask off with these towels, you wipe the mask off, and then you go get the oil and you put the oil in the bags and wrap them in hot towels. That way this is clean, and then when you take the oils off, you go right into the massage with the oil. Now there's no way to do that.
So you're saying once the mask is applied, you would then remove the mask with the hot
With the hot
towels.
towels, right.
And
You
then,
just let the mask be here, wrap them just as she did, and as she's doing now, but you let that sit. And then that's when we used to do our cleanup, while this warm towel is sitting on.
well, and that's what I would think, because wrapping the mask on the hot towels helps it to
Yes,
penetrate.
it does.
So letting that sit in a hot towel is more
Exactly.
effective than just having it sit on the skin.
So this sits here, and then you can go do your cleanup, and
Yeah,
then
so
you
you'll
come
have
back.
all your tools and stuff. You
Right,
can
you
wash
take
stuff
this.
at this point.
Because then you can use this towel to wipe the mask right off.
And
you
then
go
do the
get your
EcoFin.
EcoFin, put the warm oils wrapped again in a warm towel like that. Because then that way when you pull the plastic off, you go right
You go
into
right up the
massage.
leg into the massage.
Right, with the oils.
Okay.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
So at this point, what I learned or whatever would do is clean my implements and do all the wash things so she
Right.
can sit for a minute. And then once you put these on, just do a couple compressions. And she's been sitting for a couple of minutes. Turn the jets on because to cycle through her cleaning tab. And then
So-
what I did.
Quick, I'm gonna interrupt real quick. So you put the mask on, say you wrap the legs, you use the legs to take the mask off, you put the EcoFin on. The EcoFin is still wrapped in a towel,
Yes.
and it still sits there.
Yes.
So what do you do when the EcoFin is sitting there?
Or you can finish cleanup, you can talk, you can converse with your client, you can do whatever you want until those towels start to get cool.
Right.
And then you take them off and then you go into your massage.
Okay.
So anyways, but at this point, obviously, you would take it off, her mask, and you can just drop your towels right next to your trash can. That's perfectly fine. And then remove said towel. And then what I did was just pull that off, and I guess technically you wouldn't put too much on there, but then I'd take the bag and rub her leg like so. And now she's got the oil here, she's got the oil there, and rub in her massage like so. And then remove first towel first, take off her mask. We can drop it like so, lift up, and then you take your bag out like now it's in your hand,
Exactly.
roll it up her foot, and now put the trash in the trash can. And then do that massage, and now she's oiled up. Massage, massage, massage. And then, depending, you can read your client. If she's reading a book or looks super relaxed, don't necessarily have the jets on so that they can relax, because this can be pretty noisy. But if you guys are socializing, you can just turn them on. So let that go on, and if she was relaxing after your massage, then turn the jets on if you hadn't had them on yet. And then, especially with this particular pedicure, you can just ask, do you want me to remove some of these oils? Because if they have pants on, they might not want all those oils on their pants. Just say, hey, do you want me to take off some of this oil? Do you want me to take off some of this oil?
Yes.
Okay, so for Miss Pedicure, she would like some of this oil removed. So just take your client towel and remove all the excess oil. Would you like me to remove it from your feet as well?
Please.
And so she wants her feet rubbed as well. And what's easiest for me, I'm sure other people have different techniques, is but to put my hands here and say, just go ahead and drag your foot down, and that helps them get the oil off the bottom of their feet the easiest.
Okay.
And then once that's all done, if they are getting color, you will then grab your toe separators and put in her toe separators. And if she doesn't have flip-flops, you will put on her pedi flops. If she has her own feet, you can put her flip-flops on first and then the toe separators. But the way this combo works, it's easier to keep these on with this first, shoe second.
Okay.
If they have their own shoes, it works just as well to put her shoes on first, then these. And once that is on her, you will take your polish remover and remove all
She's got a
polish.
question to ask you, Lana.
I had to park at the Golden Horseshoe. Can I go out the back door? I
Yeah.
saw it.
I know how to
Go
get
out
to the
any
back
door you
door.
want.
Which one
This
is
way.
it? This one? Is that one?
That's the only back door.
I saw one. I was like, I'm doing that because it's pouring.
It is.
Yes.
Go through the fitness center, make a left, and keep going straight through that blue door.
Okay, sorry. So
No worries. Bye, Miss Austin. See you next time.
I will make a comment about what you said about the jets, about the noise of them when the clients are relaxing. When I fill this up and drop the thing in, I turn the jets on just for 30 seconds because that gets that chemical into
It
that
gets it
system.
moving.
And then I shut them off to let it sit because I know that chemical is now sitting in the jets. And then after they're done, while I'm cleaning everything else up,
Turn it
I
back
pop
on.
it back on so that I can let it run because then that's just more enjoyable for the client.
Yeah, because those jets
To
are
not hear those.
surprisingly loud.
It is.
Yeah.
The
Very
higher the
loud.
water, it masks a little bit, but they are quite noisy.
Yeah, they are.
And so you'll have an orange wood stick, or if you have your own tool, you can clean up excess lotion. This is when I do this stage, is after I do the massage. I'll clean up any lotion that's deep in the crevices of the toes. Again, I'm using my alcohol to spray, and then remove all the excess oils from all her feet. And you will use your Band-Aid. This is just a nail prepper, I call. It's going to remove the excess oils left on the nail plate.
Dehydrates the nails so the polish will stick.
Otherwise, because
I do pay attention.
oils and polish do not get along.
Right.
So you'll put it on all the toes, and then once you've done that, depending on the polish you're using, for example, we have Essie's Gel Couture, which the polish is, the base coat is built into the polish, so you don't need a base coat. You'll just paint it because the base coat's already in there. However, we're moving over to a line called Morgan Taylor, which does not have the base coat built in. So you will use, once you've used Band-Aid, you will use a specific base coat, apply base coat, then your 2 layers of polish, and then a top coat. With the Essie Gel Couture, you'll just paint right onto the nail, and then top coat. This happens to be the top coat. And then once all of that's said and done, do your cleanup. And then, do you like the color? Ask that after you paint the first toe, so that you don't get through every toe and they hate it. So, paint, do you like the color? So she'll say yay or nay. And then you continue painting, finish up. Ms. Crab, do you have any allergies? Do you have any allergies to almonds?
No.
No, she does not. And so this is Solar Speed Spray, which has an almond extract in it. You'll then spray it on her toes. All right, Miss Cripe, this is a solar speed spray. It's going to take that tackiness away from the polish. Also nourish your cuticles a little bit. Has an almond extract in it, so it smells like delicious cookies. And then once that's all said and done, all right. And then I like to drain my tub before the client gets out. If they have a robe on or if they have a blanket on or whatever, it's not going to get drenched in the water. And so typically I would have done this a while ago. And then again, if your hands are wet, just dry them with your own personal towel. You will stand up, make sure things are neat and tidy. Offer to assist. Some will not help. This is in a bad position, so just kind of move it out of the way a little bit so that they don't knock it on their toes. Offer hands. She'll have shoes on at this point. If their pants are still rolled up, I'm like, do you want me to help you with that? And then you'll escort. Do you want to go to the women's lounge? Would you like to head home? Would you like to go to the wet lounge?
I'm going in the hot tub and then home.
So that's what she was like, oh, would you like me to escort you to the women's wet lounge? And she's like, yes. And so I'll take you to the
No,
elevator.
you cannot go there for a couple hours.
And so typically clients will go up to the women's lounge to let their polish settle, dry. And then this gel couture will take about 20-30 minutes. Regular polish at least an hour or two before closed-toed shoes, and then do your cleanup. So you will take your, this is when the second towel is here. The second towel is here for your cleanup. So you're gonna rinse, oops, wrong button. So you're gonna rinse the tub out again, and then in this little cabinetry you will find our cleaning solution. And you will, I like to spray the outside first, inside, out here, in, and then the top of the trash can in case it gets all, you just want it to be clean.
And what is the cleaning solution?
It keeps changing, doesn't it, this time? We just changed.
I don't know, it's,
Some
honestly, it's
peroxide.
whatever comes
It's the
out of that
okay. It's the
closet.
peroxide cleaner. Got
Yes,
it. Okay.
yes.
So the peroxide cleaner, and
Yes.
then, and
And you
we're
go
low on
right here.
towels at the moment, which I will find one in a
And-
minute, but, yeah.
But you can just use your own.
Yes, but don't use your personal towel, use the cleaning towel.
Right.
And then clean out the outside first, just because as you can see there's scrub left over on here. Do a good clean. You're gonna want to fix up your
Clean out your
pillows, your
drawer, right.
blanket. You're gonna want to clean up all these wet towels, clean up your drawer, put everything away, set up if you have another new client, or leave it nice and clean. And especially with these tubs and certain pedicures, there's going to be a line. You really want to make sure you're cleaning that. And then you're going to clean the whole tub, really get some elbow grease up in there. And then do a little scoop of the trash can. And it recommends to spray afterwards because it can be harsh on the skin. And that will just get rid of any loose scrub or what have you. I get inside of the jets too because sometimes scrub can be caught up in there, just kind of rinse that out. And then make sure that this is back over here so that you don't accidentally press this and this is on and then you get everything wet. Fluff up your pillows. Fluff, fluff. Make sure your blanket's pretty. Grab all your stuff and then put it in the laundry bin, which is over here. In this drawer. Yeah. Trash goes there. Close the doors so that they're nice. You may or may not have already cleaned up your implements, but finish cleaning up your implements. And then that's an apothecary.
And they go and, I
Manicure.
would take it to the,
Yeah, well, all the way down to the cleaning processes. Once you clean your bowls, you're gonna use soap and water. And then you'll put everything up here. Take your alcohol, spray it first, and you can, like for instance, this is just drying. And then your metal implements will go in here, your metal cuticle pusher backer, your nippers, and your toenail clippers will go in here. Nippers, put nip side up so that they don't dull when you put them in there. And then over here, after you've washed your file and your, just your file really, or if you used one of these, this will go in here. The metal one will go in the barbicide with your metal tools, and you'll just put her in there, close the door, let her bake, and this is a disinfectant. And then your orange wood stick and your yellow buffer is disposable, and you'll throw that away. And then
And then you're good.
there you go.
All right. Thank you much.